Your speech topic is a dramatic and attention-grabbing incident where rock star Kid Rock confronted former Florida Attorney General Pam Bondi during a live concert, leading to a heated exchange and an unforgettable, mic drop, moment. This event became a viral sensation not just because of the clash of two prominent public figures, but also because it played out in front of a live audience, blending the worlds of music, politics, and public spectacle. The situation raises questions about celebrity influence, political expression in entertainment, and the power of unscripted moments to dominate public discourse. It also offers an opportunity to explore how such incidents shape public perception, fan loyalty, and media narratives in today's fast-paced digital culture. Celebrity influence on political discourse and public perception is a phenomenon that has only grown stronger in the age of mass media and social platforms, where personalities from the entertainment industry often carry as much, if not more, cultural authority than elected officials. Figures like Kid Rock have long demonstrated how musicians, actors, and other public entertainers can shift the tone of political conversation simply by speaking their mind or engaging with political figures. When a celebrity makes a political statement, whether through music, public appearances, or in this case, an explosive moment on stage, it does not exist in a vacuum. Their established image, fan base, and public reputation amplify the message, allowing it to travel faster and further than a statement made by someone without that influence. The effect is heightened by the nature of celebrity culture, where audiences are not only invested in the work these figures produce but also in their personal beliefs, values, and interactions. This level of personal connection makes political statements from celebrities feel more intimate, more relatable, and at times, more persuasive than traditional political rhetoric. Kid Rock's clash with Pam Bondi exemplifies this dynamic because it merges the raw energy of live performance with the high-stakes arena of political debate. His persona as a blunt, outspoken, and unapologetically patriotic rock star means his words carry a certain weight with his audience, many of whom may share his views or respect his willingness to speak without a filter. This can transform a political statement from a passing comment into a rallying cry for fans, reinforcing ideological identities and sparking deeper emotional engagement with the issues at hand. On the other side, such actions can alienate those who disagree, intensifying polarization in the public sphere. The fact that this confrontation occurred on stage in front of a live audience only magnifies the impact, as attendees not only witnessed the moment firsthand but also became part of the story when the footage spread online. This blending of performance art and political commentary turns an entertainment venue into a political stage, making the lines between art and activism blur. When celebrities engage in direct political confrontation, they bring with them a massive built-in distribution network through the media and their fans. The modern news cycle thrives on such moments, which are highly visual, emotionally charged, and easily shareable. In Kid Rock's case, the "explodes at Pam Bondi" narrative feeds perfectly into the kind of headline-driven coverage that dominates news feeds. It becomes a story that people talk about not only because of the content of the confrontation but because of who was involved. This is where celebrity influence becomes particularly potent. Audiences who might otherwise ignore a political debate may engage with it simply because it involves someone they admire or follow. A political conversation that might have seemed dry or niche suddenly becomes relevant and urgent when filtered through the lens of celebrity drama. The influence of celebrities on political discourse also rests on the trust and credibility they build with their audience over time. Kid Rock's fan base, for example, sees him as authentic, a quality that makes his political comments seem less rehearsed and more genuine compared to the carefully crafted statements of career politicians. This authenticity resonates in an era where many people feel disconnected from traditional political institutions. When a celebrity articulates a political viewpoint, it can feel like a voice from one of us, rather than from them, even though the celebrity is a wealthy public figure. This paradox underscores why celebrity endorsements, criticisms, or confrontations can hold such sway. People feel they are hearing from someone they know, someone whose journey and personality they have followed for years. The risks and rewards of such influence are significant. For Kid Rock, an explosive moment like this can energize his base, reaffirm his public image, and attract widespread attention, but it can also draw backlash from those who view such behavior as inappropriate or disrespectful. Public perception is fluid and shaped by the interplay of admiration, disagreement, and the context in which the event occurs. While some may see the mic drop moment as bold and courageous, others may perceive it as aggressive and unprofessional. This duality highlights the unpredictable nature of celebrity influence in politics. The same action can solidify loyalty in one segment of the population while alienating another. In addition to shaping individual opinions, celebrity-driven political moments can alter the broader discourse by shifting the topics and language of conversation. An event like Kid Rock's onstage confrontation introduces certain political ideas into pop culture spaces, which are often more informal and accessible than traditional political forums. As these ideas circulate among fans, they can influence discussions in workplaces, homes, and online communities, expanding the reach of the political message far beyond the original event. The way the media frames the incident, whether focusing on the substance of the disagreement, the personalities involved, or the spectacle of the confrontation, also plays a critical role in determining how it is received and remembered. The integration of politics into entertainment is not new, but the speed and scale at which these moments now spread make them more influential than ever. Social media platforms like Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok allow clips of such confrontations to reach millions within hours, complete with commentary, memes, and edited versions that can frame the moment in dramatically different ways. This democratization of distribution means that the public's perception is shaped not just by the celebrity's original words and actions but also by how fans, critics, and media outlets choose to present them. In this way, the political influence of a celebrity extends far beyond the initial performance or statement. It becomes a cultural touchpoint, debated and reinterpreted by a vast online community. For political figures like Pam Bondi, engaging in such public moments with celebrities can be equally impactful, for better or worse. Being on the receiving end of a high-profile confrontation places them in the spotlight of both political and entertainment audiences, which can amplify their message or damage their reputation depending on how the interaction is perceived. This interplay between political and celebrity spheres illustrates how interconnected these worlds have become. A musician's outburst is no longer just about entertainment. It becomes a part of the political record, influencing voter sentiment and shaping cultural attitudes. In the end, the reason celebrity influence on political discourse remains so powerful is because it taps into human emotions in a way that formal political communication often cannot. It blends personal connection, entertainment value, and the thrill of the unscripted into moments that are both entertaining and politically charged. These moments linger in the public memory precisely because they break from the expected script, offering something raw, unpredictable, and intensely human. When Kid Rock explodes at a political figure like Pam Bondi, it becomes more than just a clash of personalities. It becomes a lens through which society examines power, authenticity, and the role of public voices in shaping the conversation about who we are and what we value. The role of live, unscripted moments in shaping viral media narratives has grown to unprecedented levels in recent years, largely due to the nature of digital platforms and the public's hunger for authenticity. In an age where much of what we see in entertainment, politics, and media is carefully planned and rehearsed, moments that feel raw, spontaneous, and unpredictable stand out. They capture attention precisely because they break away from the polished presentation that audiences have come to expect. A live confrontation, an emotional outburst, or a surprising act on stage becomes more than just an isolated incident, it turns into a cultural event. These moments become shareable, dissected, and replayed endlessly, often overshadowing the original reason for the event. In the case of Kid Rock's explosive exchange with Pam Bondi, the power lies in the fact that it was unscripted. The lack of rehearsal or preparation creates an electric tension, and audiences instinctively recognize that they are witnessing something unique, something that cannot be recreated in the same way. Live, unscripted moments have an immediacy that appeals to human curiosity and emotion. Viewers experience the same shock, amusement, or outrage as the people physically present in the venue, which forges a connection between the audience and the event. In the modern media environment, this connection is quickly monetized and amplified by countless outlets, bloggers, and influencers who rush to provide their take, often framing the moment in ways that suit their own perspectives or agendas. The initial clip of the incident can be chopped into shorter versions, remixed into memes, or embedded into articles that emphasize certain words or gestures over others. The result is that the moment becomes more than just something that happened, it evolves into a narrative that can be interpreted, debated, and spun in multiple directions. This is the point where it enters the realm of viral, where its spread becomes self-sustaining as more people feel compelled to share their opinions about it. One of the reasons unscripted events have so much impact is that they disrupt the normal rhythm of both the performance and the audience's expectations. People attend concerts, political rallies, or public events with a certain idea of what they are going to see, and when that expectation is suddenly broken by a heated exchange or a bold action, it injects unpredictability into the experience. That unpredictability is a major driver of virality. Viewers instinctively lean in because they want to see what will happen next, and when the moment ends, they want to talk about it, relive it, and share it with others who were not there. In this way, the live audience becomes an essential part of the storytelling process, reacting in real time and providing the gasps, cheers, or boos that help communicate the emotional weight of the moment to online viewers later. The viral nature of unscripted moments is amplified by the speed of modern communication. Just minutes after an event like Kid Rock's outburst occurs, someone in the crowd will post a video to social media, and within hours, it can reach millions of people. Traditional media outlets will then pick up the story, providing their own interpretations and commentary, which adds layers to the narrative. Depending on the framing, the moment can be portrayed as heroic, outrageous, comedic, or disrespectful, and each framing will find its own audience. The malleability of these moments is part of their strength. They can be adapted to fit multiple worldviews, and in doing so, they sustain interest over a longer period. This is why a single live incident can dominate conversations for days or even weeks, becoming a reference point in other discussions and influencing how both the celebrity and the political figure involved are perceived. Another element that makes these unscripted moments so potent is their authenticity, whether real or perceived. In a world saturated with pre-approved talking points and calculated media appearances, audiences crave something that feels genuine, even if it is messy or controversial. A heated exchange like the one between Kid Rock and Pam Bondi feels real precisely because it doesn't fit neatly into a promotional agenda or political statement. It is an emotional reaction that appears unfiltered, and that lack of polish makes it compelling. Viewers might not agree with what was said, but they respond to the perceived honesty of the moment. This authenticity builds an emotional bridge between the event and the audience, increasing its staying power in the public's memory. Unscripted events also have a transformative effect on the people involved. For Kid Rock, a moment like this reinforces his brand as someone who speaks his mind without fear of backlash, which can strengthen his connection with his fans. For Pam Bondi, being the focus of such an interaction thrusts her into a different spotlight, one that merges political relevance with pop culture attention. Whether positive or negative, this visibility can alter how people view her, especially those who might never have followed her political career but are now aware of her due to the viral clip. This crossover between entertainment and politics is part of what makes unscripted moments so powerful. They reach audiences who would otherwise remain in separate cultural or ideological spaces. The viral media narrative that emerges from these moments is rarely simple. It is shaped not only by what actually happened but also by how it is replayed, edited, and discussed across various platforms. Each retelling of the event can emphasize different aspects. One clip might focus on Kid Rock's tone of voice, another on Bondi's reaction, while another might highlight the crowd's response. Each version serves as a new piece of the puzzle, influencing how viewers interpret the original incident. This multiplicity of perspectives means that no single truth about the event dominates. Instead, it becomes a contested space where multiple interpretations compete for attention. Moreover, once an unscripted moment achieves viral status, it often takes on a life of its own, becoming symbolic of broader cultural debates. The Kid Rock-Pam Bondi clash could be framed as a commentary on free speech, the intersection of politics and entertainment, or even the role of civility in public discourse. People discussing the moment may not be interested in the specifics of the concert but will use it as a springboard to express opinions on these larger themes. This ability to serve as a proxy for bigger conversations is part of why such moments remain in the public consciousness long after the initial incident fades from the news cycle. In addition, the modern audience's role as both consumer and distributor of content intensifies the reach of these moments. The crowd at the event not only witnesses the incident but becomes part of its distribution chain, each person with a smartphone acting as a potential broadcaster. This decentralization of media means that controlling the narrative becomes nearly impossible, as anyone with footage can post it without approval from the celebrity, the politician, or the venue. This lack of control adds to the chaotic energy of unscripted moments and makes them even more intriguing to the public, who often suspect that the most interesting stories are the ones not mediated by official channels. The combination of unpredictability, authenticity, and mass participation makes live, unscripted moments uniquely suited to shaping viral narratives. They bypass the filters of traditional media, tap into primal emotional responses, and spread through networks that thrive on sharing what feels raw and unplanned. This ensures that when an incident like Kid Rock's explosive exchange with Pam Bondi happens, it is not just a fleeting piece of entertainment, it becomes a multi-layered cultural artifact that people return to, reinterpret, and weave into broader conversations about society, politics, and the personalities who dare to break from the script. Public reaction and cultural impact of confrontations between high-profile figures are shaped by a complex interplay of emotions, personal biases, media framing, and the larger social context in which the event takes place. When two well-known personalities clash, especially from different spheres like entertainment and politics, the incident captures attention not just because of the individuals involved but because it symbolizes deeper cultural tensions. People project their own values, frustrations, and beliefs onto the moment, turning it into more than a simple disagreement. The Kid Rock and Pam Bondi confrontation, for example, is not just about what was said or how it was said. It becomes a lightning rod for debates about celebrity influence, political alignment, freedom of expression, and the perceived divide between ordinary people and those in power. The fact that such confrontations happen in public settings magnifies their impact, making them a form of live theater where audiences are both witnesses and participants in the unfolding drama. The public reaction often splits sharply along ideological and cultural lines. Supporters of Kid Rock may see his outburst as a brave act of speaking truth to power, a moment where someone used their platform to challenge a political figure directly and without hesitation. Fans may admire his courage, his refusal to filter his words, and his willingness to create an uncomfortable moment in service of what he believes. On the other hand, critics may interpret the same act as disrespectful, unnecessarily aggressive, or even self-serving, designed to grab attention rather than foster meaningful dialogue. Similarly, reactions to Pam Bondi's handling of the situation depend on the viewer's perspective. Some may praise her composure and ability to face public criticism, while others may see her as a symbol of political elitism or failed policies being rightfully confronted. This duality is a hallmark of high-profile confrontations. The same moment can inspire praise and outrage in equal measure, creating a feedback loop of debate that fuels the story's longevity. Cultural impact emerges when the confrontation transcends the immediate event and becomes a reference point in broader conversations. This often happens because the moment taps into existing societal narratives about political polarization, the relationship between celebrities and governance, or the way public figures should conduct themselves. The clash between Kid Rock and Pam Bondi is not just about a disagreement at a concert. It plays into the narrative of entertainers stepping into political spaces and challenging authority figures on their own turf. In doing so, it contributes to a long history of artists acting as cultural commentators, whether through music, visual art, or direct public engagement. By choosing to confront Bondi in a public setting, Kid Rock transforms his role from musician to political actor, at least in the eyes of the public, blurring the boundaries between entertainment and activism. Social media plays a critical role in amplifying both public reaction and cultural impact. Within minutes of such a confrontation, clips circulate online, inviting commentary from people who were not present. The immediacy of this distribution means reactions form quickly, often before the full context of the event is known. Memes, hashtags, and reaction videos emerge, each one reinforcing a particular interpretation of the incident. This rapid cycle of sharing and responding creates a sense of urgency, as if the moment must be claimed and defined before it fades from relevance. In this environment, public opinion can crystallize around incomplete or biased representations, making the cultural impact less about the actual event and more about the narratives constructed around it. The media, both traditional and digital, further shapes the trajectory of public reaction. Depending on the outlet's audience and editorial stance, the coverage may frame Kid Rock as a bold truth-teller or as an unprofessional provocateur, while Bondi might be depicted as a victim of celebrity grandstanding or as a political figure unwilling to engage with criticism. These portrayals influence how the broader public interprets the event, especially for those who never watch the original footage but instead rely on summaries and commentary. The media's tendency to focus on conflict and spectacle ensures that the more dramatic elements, tone of voice, body language, crowd reaction, receive more attention than any substantive discussion of the issues at hand. The cultural impact is also tied to the symbolic nature of the confrontation. Public clashes between high-profile figures often become shorthand for larger societal conflicts. They serve as case studies in how power is challenged and defended in public spaces, and they raise questions about the appropriateness of certain behaviors in different contexts. In the case of Kid Rock and Pam Bondi, the fact that this happened at a concert, an environment typically associated with entertainment rather than political debate, adds another layer to the discussion. It forces audiences to consider whether political discourse belongs in such spaces and, if so, how it should be conducted. These questions contribute to the event's staying power in the cultural conversation, ensuring it will be referenced in future debates about celebrity involvement in politics. Another element of public reaction is the emotional identification audiences have with the figures involved. Fans of Kid Rock may feel personally validated by his actions, interpreting them as a reflection of their own frustrations with political figures or systems. Similarly, supporters of Bondi may view her as a stand-in for their own values and beliefs, rallying around her in the face of public criticism. This personal connection intensifies reactions, turning them from abstract opinions into emotionally charged positions. When people feel their identities are tied to the outcome of a confrontation, they are more likely to engage in defending their chosen side and in spreading content that supports their view. High-profile confrontations can also influence the reputations of those involved in lasting ways. For celebrities, such moments can reinforce their brand, whether that brand is built on being rebellious, outspoken, or unafraid of controversy. For political figures, the impact can be more complicated. Being challenged by a celebrity can either humanize them, showing they can face criticism, or undermine their authority, depending on how they respond and how the moment is perceived. Over time, the confrontation may become a defining moment in the public memory of both individuals, shaping how they are discussed in future contexts. Culturally, these moments reveal a shift in how authority is challenged. In previous decades, political debates were largely confined to formal settings like press conferences, interviews, or legislative chambers. Today, challenges to authority can happen anywhere, on a concert stage, in a viral video, or during a social media livestream. This democratization of confrontation means that anyone with a platform, whether in entertainment or activism, can insert themselves into political discourse in ways that bypass traditional gatekeepers. The Kid Rock and Pam Bondi moment is a reflection of this new reality, where cultural influence and political relevance can collide unpredictably, creating events that resonate far beyond their immediate circumstances. Ultimately, public reaction and cultural impact are driven by the way people interpret the meaning of the confrontation. For some, it is an empowering display of speaking out against political figures; for others, it is a troubling sign of declining civility in public life. These differing interpretations ensure that the incident remains a point of discussion long after the moment has passed, becoming part of the collective cultural memory. It takes on a symbolic life of its own, not just as an argument between two individuals, but as a snapshot of the larger cultural climate in which it occurred, reflecting the divisions, passions, and shifting boundaries that define public discourse today.